What's going on, guys? It's Moperman 1978. Out here doing another tech tip for the Slant 6 oil pan gaskets, and let's go get into this. All right, guys, gals, all the above. If you're not familiar with the Slant 6, especially the oil pan gaskets, they're a 4-piece, and you got the rubber one up front and the rubber one in the back, and then the cork gaskets for the sides. Well, many years back, before I started getting into Slant 6s, I didn't know a lot about them. And when I got my first dart, or this dart here, the 65 two-door, I actually had to remove the oil pan and replace the gaskets, the rear main seal, the front seal on the timing chain cover. Anyway, didn't realize how much kind of a pain in the ass it is to do it. These front gaskets, or the gasket I should say, does not have what I call the little rubber nipple that goes through, like the one right here that comes out through a little size hole on the side right here on the back. This one here has the wide one, and then if you look on the back here, see if we focus it in there, there's a much skinnier one. Well, it sticks out, and what you're supposed to do is you put the gasket on, take a pair of new nose pliers and be real careful, and you pull that rubber nipple from off the gasket through here. You don't want to overdo it because you'll tear it right off, and then it's a pain in the ass to try to get this gasket to stay in position. And then see, you got, let's see here, here's 1, 2, 3 more that you got to pull through and be real careful with. And anyway, there's still, whether you follow this step by step and you get these all in there, or you say you had real bad luck that day and they end up tearing off. Anyway, well, I got a fix for that. See how this goes, and these gaskets are not pre-formed to the pan. They're just flat rubber gaskets, so it makes it a pain in the ass to get them to form to the pan. So what I do, make sure your gasket surfaces are real clean. Use a little rough grit sandpaper and like 150 or something, and scratch all this up and get it all wiped down and get it rough. What I do is I take black, and people will probably say, no, you don't do that, that's overkill or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, I take black RTV and I line the back side of the gasket surface with black RTV gasket sealant. Then what I do is pull the little tabs, the little nipples, I call them nipples, through the sides of the little holes, get the rubber gasket into position. And then what I do is I go to like Harbor Freight and I buy these cheap little I don't know, 99-cent, $1, $1.50 or whatever they are a piece, really heavy duty clamps. And what I'll do is I'll start here on the side. And then I put just enough pressure on the top here to keep the gasket from moving, and then I'll do the one over here on this side, and then while I got those anchored to make sure they don't pop out, I'll have like a bunch more. I think I guesstimated maybe 10. You need 10 total, maybe a few more. Then what I do is I come down with the other ones, and I'll put a clamp right here, and then another one right here, and one in the middle. You just make sure they're even with the gasket surface, not hanging over or anything like that. Make sure they're all lined up, staying in the middle. And I do that, and then I come in here and around on the side of the gasket and the oil pan surface, I apply RTV to bridge the two together. I do that all the way around and on the back side and all that. And then when I take my rubber cork gaskets, I'll put a thin layer across the bottom, put the gasket on, and I'll use like some clothespins. You can get a cheap pack of rubber, or not rubber, but wooden clothespins from like Walmart or wherever, Dollar General, and just clip all the way down here so the gasket stays flat and doesn't move. And then make sure you put RTV sealant between the rubber and the side gaskets as well. Clamp this down with a clothespin. Anyway, I come up here and I do the same thing with this. And you got to make sure you get some gasket sealant all the way around, under, and around the back side here, because if you don't, there could be a hairline crack in here between the gaskets, and before you know, you'll start having oil dripping or sweating out of the deal. Because oil, water, and electricity look for the easiest way out, and so save yourself a lot of grief. And then once you get all the clothespins and the clamps put on, I'll let it sit all day, all night. Or if you're outside and it's got a nice hot sunny day, just set this out in the middle of the sun. I think that it didn't take like maybe an hour and a half or something, like half or less than half of the time for the gasket sealant to cure and set up. And then what I did was, once that was all done, just to be on the safe side, when I go to put the pan back on, I also put some sealant, fresh sealant, down on the front of the top of this too, on the gasket surfaces. So when you bolt the oil pan down, it's getting sealant on here. Maybe there might be a spot in the rubber that didn't get sealed up, like just, a thousandth of an inch or something like that. And that sealant will help seal that all up. But anyway, that's my tech tip for the Slant 6 oil pans. That way you're not having to fight, especially this back one, because these corners that they don't want to lay down for nothing. So you put that clamp in there and then put some sealant on both sides. But anyway, hope you got something out of this. Feel free to leave a comment, whatever, below. And stay tuned for another video.